Hey everybody, it's your mad mother of the internet with another shelter-in-place update for the United States. Today we're going to be doing Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and New York. You're going to see a date on the video, something new. This is the date the video was recorded. This is very important because when you're trying to constantly give updates for numbers and such, for chronicling purposes, the date that the video was actually made is very important and very significant. Also, if you are looking for updates for your state specifically, feel free to put those in the comment section below as a request, or if you follow me on Twitter, tag me on Twitter with your request, or also DM me, and I will put them on a list and I will let you know more or less when that video is going to be uploaded, because there's another update coming Wednesday. So there is that. If you want any quick updates, also too, DM me on Twitter. There's my Instagram. I'm going to be doing more on that as well. For quick little updates and stuff like that on the coronavirus, it's going to be there as well. So please don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Any checkpoints, any travel restrictions, anything like that is going to be on my blog. So please follow my blog, because I figure it's better just to update it and look at it from a written perspective as far as state-to-state checkpoints and travel restrictions are concerned, than having to constantly refer back to a video in order to find it, because I'm not going to be time-stamping those types of videos. Also, the other change that's going to be in these subsequent videos is the total population of the state is going to be included in the video. How many confirmed cases, how many have been hospitalized, if I can find the hospitalization information, and how many deaths have been reported in that particular state before I go into the update. So, with all that done, explained, and out of the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, that button should be bright red, and there's a bell next to it that people hit and hope for the best. There's also a like button, but if you want to reserve your judgment until the end of the video, go right ahead, no problem, because I'm going to remind you at the end of the video anyway. So, let's go ahead and get into these updates. Hey, Alabama, it looks like your governor finally come to their senses, because they did levy a shelter in place. This is your current numbers as far as COVID-19 and your population is concerned. Your shelter in place became effective April 4th at 5 p.m. and it's going to last until April 30th. Violating any aspect of this order is a misdemeanor and will subject you to a $500 fine, so please be aware of that. They don't want anyone venturing outside the home unless it is absolutely essential. Essential venturing includes caring for someone who cannot care for themselves, caring for other family members, food, sanitary, maintenance for the home and home supplies, prescriptions or other medicines and medical supplies, gas and fuel for vehicles. Yes, there is a difference. Diesel is not considered gasoline, it's fuel. Materials for homeschooling, pet supplies like food, meds for your pet, any kind of anything that deals with the welfare of your animal. Donating blood. I see the sense in being able to donate blood, but please, when you donate the blood, be very, very careful. Safety, don't touch face, keep your hands washed, keep your sanitary stuff next to you at all times, and be sure that all the personnel that are deciding to take your blood, if you do decide to donate it, are also following the proper precautions. They should be. Just stay safe. Work activities that include inventory control are considered essential, and so is maintenance and payroll for non-food services. Because food services are only to operate by drive-through, curbside, or delivery. So no dine-ins for any restaurants in Alabama. Curbside, drive-through, or delivery. Necessary services are included, and these are emergency dental, medical, or surgical services. Can't English. Government-funded services / benefits, auto repair, vital care for special needs, physically disabled people, services related to homeschooling, pressing health services for family and pets, legal reasons to travel, including custody agreements. So yeah, if you need to meet somebody somewhere in order to, fulfill the custody agreement for your divorce, then that is allowed. That is considered an exemption. Other exemptions, church services. We've been over this. If your church offers virtual online services, do those. Stay home. Going to church isn't absolutely fucking necessary. It's not life and death. It's not going to fucking feed you. Unless the church has a food bank. And then in which case, be careful when you're going to get the food. Keep your distance. Exemptions, church services, weddings, funerals. The previous is only exempted if the gathering is 10 people or less and the 6-foot rule is maintained. So keep your distance. Keep y'all distance, y'all. If any of the above is exempt, any of the above is also exempt if it's a drive-through event. Yes, that includes the funeral. So drive-through church, drive-through weddings, and drive-through funerals are exempt as long as the people that are in each car are from that respective household and everybody can keep a 6-foot distance from car to car. Yes, it's actually in the executive order. That's why I link all this crap below. Let me see. Home gatherings such as barbecues are allowed only if the group is 10 people or less and they maintain that 6-foot rule. Essential businesses and services include public safety, first responders, law enforcement, EMS, corrections, probation, and parole. You ain't getting out of your probation or your parole because you can't leave your house. Child protection, child welfare, healthcare personnel and services, infrastructure / supply chain, manufacturing, agriculture, food stores, liquor stores. You heard me correctly. Warehouse stores, restaurants and bars. Remember, drive-through, takeout, yada yada. Essential personnel services, education operations, financial services, professional services, food banks, homeless shelters, construction, including HVAC. For those of you that do not understand what HVAC is short for, that's heating and air conditioning. Rhoda's going to kill me for that. If you want to know which food stores and which essential personal services are included, there's a couple of screen caps that I'm going to play for you now. Okay. The following will be closed to the public in Alabama. Entertainment centers and venues, gyms, fitness centers and sports arenas, barbershops, nail salons, waxing tanning salons, hair salons, and the like. There are a lot of professional hairdressers now on YouTube that are offering tutorials on how to cut your hair and how to care for your hair. And there are also lots of nail techs on YouTube that are probably doing the same thing. Yes, I'm telling you to do your own fucking nails and your hair at your house. It don't take that long to give yourself a regular manicure. You don't need acrylic nails anyway. That shit's bad for your actual nails. Let's get on to Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Kemp, you ain't proven that you're intelligent. Even when I lived in your state, you were a dumbass. You ain't helping your cause any, bud. So, with the numbers above my left shoulder here, your order became effective April 3rd, and it runs till April 13th. Something tells me it might be extended, so keep your eye on that, because I know I will be. All residents and visitors of Georgia are to shelter where they are and limit social interaction. Non-essential businesses and professionals must close their doors to the public. Here's a screen cap. Those violating the Fulton County order that are in the city of Atlanta are subject to a $1,000 fine and or up to 12 months in jail. So if you live in Fulton County, please be aware of that. Exemptions fit into 4 categories. One of 4 categories. Essential services, critical infrastructure, minimum basic operations. Essential services are considered traveling for food, medical supplies, outdoor exercises, buying supplies for the household and to maintain the household. Emergency trips to hospitals. Here is the screenshot for the critical infrastructure. Minimum basic operations include payroll, maintenance, security, inventory control, employee benefits. This includes nonprofits and non-essential businesses as long as the personnel stay 6 feet away from one another. This does not mean those non-essential businesses are open, just that the personnel can do those particular functions within those businesses as long as they can stay 6 feet apart. There is not to be more than 10 people in an establishment at any given time, and they must be able to stand at least 6 feet from each other. Georgia, at the end of your executive order, they have a Q&A, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. Question number 1, do I need a letter to prove that I can keep working? No, you do not need a letter from your employer or the government to prove that you fall into one of the exceptions for essential services, necessary travel, critical infrastructure, or minimum basic operations. If you have questions about critical infrastructure, please contact the Department of Economic Development. You can email for assistance or visit georgia.org for more information. Number 2, what happens if I violate the governor's executive order? If you violate any of the terms of the order, you are committing a misdemeanor, which is a crime in the state of Georgia. For example, if you are not sheltering in place and none of the 4 exemptions for essential services, minimum basic operations, critical infrastructure, or necessary travel applies to your activities, you will receive a warning from law enforcement and risk facing criminal charges if you fail to comply. Don't do that. Don't do that. 3, what does this order mean for church services and funeral services? No business, establishment, for-profit or non-profit organization, or county or municipal government is allowed to have more than 10 people gathering in a single location unless there is at least 6 feet between each person at all times. This rule applies to church services and funeral services. So no, it doesn't seem like they're closed, but you got to maintain your distance. Unfortunately, several community outbreaks can be directly attributed to recent in-person church services and funeral services, and a dumbass fucking governor who didn't know that asymptomatic does not necessarily mean not contagious. Public health officials strongly discourage gatherings of people for these services due to the high risk of transmission of novel coronavirus. For elderly Georgians and the chronically ill, exposure to novel coronavirus can be deadly. Please comply with the governor's orders to stop the spread of COVID-19. Number 4, can I go to state parks to play sports outside like golf? Yes, you can visit state parks and play sports outside, including golf, subject to certain restrictions. Gathering of more than 10 people are banned unless there's at least 6 feet between each person at all times. If people congregate in certain areas of a state park or golf course, for example, law enforcement will warn them to disband. Don't y'all stand so close. There's more than 10 of y'all. Y'all need to separate yourselves. This is some serious shit right here. If they fail to comply, they may face criminal charges. We're going to give you a misdemeanor because you ain't paying attention to the police. Any and all information that I read is sourced in the description. So if you guys want to read any of your orders in detail, they're down there. Oklahoma, here's your count as of April 3rd. Yours is a timeline, seeing how this progressed into this point, so I'm going to go into a lot of detail. But again, you've got your stuff in the description as well if you want to read more about it. This is just a simple overview. It goes into some detail, but not a lot. Well, not extensive detail. March 17th, your state legislature went into lockdown after one person tested positive for the Han flu shuffle. Testing started for all who were present. Only lawmakers, essential staff, state employees, and media were allowed after the discovery. 3 days later, on March 20th, the Oklahoma National Guard was activated a joint task force, which included the Oklahoma Army and Air National Guard. They were activated to aid and support the people and agencies of Oklahoma. All right, March 24th through 26th, your order was instituted March 25th to expire April 30th for the vulnerable population. People considered high risk are pregnant women, breastfeeding women, homeless, the 65 and over, living in nursing homes, people in long-term care facilities, people with chronic lung diseases or moderate to severe asthma, serious heart conditions, people with immunocompromising conditions such as cancer, smoking, bone marrow or organ transplant patients, immune deficiencies, poorly treated HIV or AIDS, prolonged use of corticosteroids, use of other meds that lower immune response, severe obesity, this is a BMI of 40 or higher, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and liver disease. All non-essential businesses in 19 Oklahoma counties with confirmed cases of the Han flu shuffle closed for a 21-day period. Additional counties will be added as cases are confirmed. Non-essential businesses include salons, movie theaters, gyms, bars, tattoo parlors, spas, massage parlors. Restaurants are taking orders to go only. Please check to make sure they're also offering delivery or dine-in. Some may not. Pharmacies and grocery stores will remain open. CVS, if you have one of their care cards, actually delivers. So call around to your favorite pharmacy and see if they're offering delivery or, pay over the phone and pick up or anything of that nature to reduce your exposure to other people. Gatherings of 10 plus people are banned throughout the state. Medical providers were mandated to postpone elective surgeries until April 7th. Non-essential businesses will be allowed to reopen on April 16th. No visitors are allowed in nursing homes, long-term care facilities, and retirement homes. Essential services include health care, law enforcement, public safety, first responders, food and agriculture, energy, water, wastewater, transportation, logistics, public works, critical manufacturing, financial services. Essential industries include grocery stores, pharmacies, convenience stores, restaurants, curbside or delivery only, auto repair, veterinarians, research and labs, newspapers/media, airports, funeral homes, child care, daycare. HVAC and plumbers are a gray area. If you can work from home, you are urged strongly to do so. March 28th, Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt proclaimed a state of emergency to put shelter in place into effect on March 28th at 11:59 p.m. to April 16th. Guidelines above should be followed with the addition of the following. You can go to work provided your job is considered essential. If your job is non-essential, teleworking is recommended if your job allows it. You can drive, bike, walk, and take transit provided you maintain a safe distance. Maintenance and security staff are allowed on site for non-essential businesses. Donating blood, volunteering at food banks, and disaster response activities are allowed. Faith-based services are allowed to record and broadcast services. Police will not be stopping people to question why residents are out and about. They will investigate any calls about people breaking the order. Anyone found violating the order is subject to a fine of up to $750 and jail of up to 6 months. Tulsa joined Oklahoma City on this date. At this time, Tulsa confirmed 175 cases of the Han flu shuffle. 20 have recovered and 8 have passed away. This became effective March 30th at 11:59 p.m. Edmond City Council amended its declaration of emergency to include shelter in place. City facilities that are closed: basketball courts, golf courses, tennis centers, sports fields, dog parks, fitness courts, playgrounds, disc golf facilities. Only maintenance crew are allowed until April 16th in the above mentioned. Governor issued new travel restrictions. Anyone entering the state from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, Louisiana, and Washington will be made to quarantine for 14 days. Delivery personnel are to submit to screenings upon request at healthcare facilities. It was on this date that KFOR reported that governor is being pressed to go to a statewide shelter in place. When asked why he hasn't, this is what he had to say. The per capita death rate is not an accurate representation of COVID-19 impact on Oklahoma due to a lag in testing compared to other states, caused by initial supply limitations from the federal government. A large portion of Oklahoma's population is made up of people 65 or older or individuals who are immunocompromised, which is why the governor ordered a shelter in place for this population earlier on and is requiring it through April 30th. Judge DeGuisti, name, extended the deadline to May 31st. March 31st, as of April 1st, all 3 federal offender facilities have been on lockdown for 14 days. This came days after an inmate was confirmed to have died from the virus. All new intakes will be isolated, quarantined for 14 days. Lawton, Oklahoma. Shelter in place became effective April 1st at noon. Essential travel only. Lawton urges one person per household if supply runs are necessary. Sneeze guards are required for transactions that require people to be closer than 6 feet. Sanitizing requirements are in place for self-checkouts and cashiers. Gas station pumps are to be sanitized between customers. Occupancy levels have been changed to make safe distancing easier. If occupancy and sanitary rules are followed, Mayor Stan Booker will allow the following businesses to reopen: furniture stores, sporting goods stores, appliance stores, and car washes. That's stupid. All residents are not allowed to leave their homes in Lawton, Oklahoma from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So Lawton, Oklahoma, once again, you have a curfew. They don't want you out between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. New York, as of April 6th, here are your numbers. Looking grim, New York, thanks to Cuomo and DeShizio. March 28th, CDC told residents of New York not to do any non-essential travel for 14 days. See how the CDC had to say that? This excluded trucking, public health officials, financial services, food supply. April 3rd, city officials are telling people to cover their faces and stay at home as much as possible. The PAUSE program, which is what Cuomo's calling it because he doesn't like the shelter-in-place nomenclature, is now extended to April 15th. And there's your shelter-in-place updates for Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and New York. This is my Twitter if you want to DM me and request me do an update for your state. This is my Instagram if you want the same thing. And this is my blog, once again, where any travel restrictions are going to be logged down. I am going to dust off my blog in order to keep those updates running. Guys, I know a lot of states are keeping you from getting the information that you need. So I want to help as much as possible. I want to do what I can to keep you guys informed, keep you guys calm, and keep you guys aware of what's going on in your states and municipalities. So please, if you have any concerns about what your state is doing, any changes your state has made to any shelter in place or safe at home things, let me know in the comment section below what your state is. And not necessarily your city. You can list your county. I don't want you to dox yourself. And I'll see if I can find some county information as well. As always, my friends, here we go. There's a subscribe button down there. If it's bright red, you haven't subscribed yet, I'm not going to tell you to click a button. But, you know, if you like me, you know what to do with the button. There's that bell if you do click the button that's as fickle as a pregnant woman in a grocery store, and it may or may not notify you, but I am being more active on my community tab, so you can check me out on that as well. All my socials are listed in the description, as well as all the sources used for the video, and every way that you could possibly support me. I'm talking zero strings. You can buy me a coffee. You can even give me a one-time tip through PayPal or Streamlabs, depending on which link is down there. I even have a Redbubble merch store. If you can't, fine. It's just a suggestion. Until next time, my friends, 20 seconds on washing your little digits and your hands. Keep your hands away from your face. Keep 6 feet from everybody. Stay calm. Stay informed. And always double check your sources. This is your mad mother of the internet. Love y'all. Bye.